Hello everyone, it's Lisa Turner here from Psycademy, and I wanted to share with you some thoughts. I've just come off a coaching call. It's a thing we do kind of regularly here in Psycademy, and where we invite people to come on, and we have we use Zoom, and we coach people on whatever's going on for them. And the predominant question that, and this is not an uncommon one that came up, was, how do I connect to higher level guides, angels, source? How do I connect to the divine? And so what I thought I'd do is I'd actually share with you guys just some thoughts on how you do that. So you can go away knowing this is what I need to do. So here are, I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish things. So maybe 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. So the first one is, so this is how you connect with higher level guides. So the first one is actually, it starts with this word connect, because I actually think it's kind of in the narrative at the moment. Everyone is using the word, I want to connect to my guides, connect. And actually, if you think about, when you think about the word connect, what that presupposes is that you are disconnected. And I actually think if we stop using that word, that will help, because we need to stop thinking about ourselves as being, you know, this human being called Lisa, or whatever you're called, because, well, some of you might be called Lisa, but which is a great name, and some of you might not, and, you know, I'm sorry for you, but you can change your name, that's okay. But, you know, like there's this human being called Lisa, and guide source is over there and separate. So if you have this idea of of separation, the only way you can connect is if you're disconnected, because you're separate. So if we just start thinking about, just start holding in our mind this idea that we are source, we are one, we are unity all the time. It's just we maybe forgotten it, and that we're not currently aware of it. And so when I'm working with my guides, I don't think about it as, oh, I'm going to connect with my guides. What I think about it in terms of is I invoke them, or I activate them within me. And it's a little bit like, you know, when you're watching the telly and you might be on BBC and you might decide you're going to watch ITV, or the other way around. And literally it's not like you take the TV and you unplug it from something and plug it into something else. It's not like, you know, you have to go into the back of the TV. It's like you just change the channel, right? So for me, when I'm working with my guides, it's literally like I change the channel. So it's like I'm looking at one place and then I'm looking at something else. It's like turning the page of a book. It is that easy. It's that simple, because it's just about flipping something in my neurology, in my mind, so that I have the awareness of being guide versus being the individual known as Lisa. And it's like, I am always source. Sometimes I relate to myself or experience myself in different ways. So let's just get that out there. This idea of you're never disconnected. You're always connected. There's never a minute or a moment of any day that you are not source. And if you're not aware of that, there may be some reasons why. So let's look at that. So number 2 on my list of my, 4.5, 5.5 things. Number 2 is, so number 1 is the idea that you are disconnected. So lose that, like you are connected. Number 2 is you need to clear any patterning or programming that has you believe you're not source, and any limiting beliefs and negative emotions that would stop you feeling as if you are divine. So this is about reprogramming, changing your neurology. And this is like, we use higher self therapy, which is something we teach on our spiritual practitioner training. And so what this does is, like, if you've got any sense of unworthiness, that was something that came up a lot on today's coaching call. Unworthiness, not feeling deserving, feeling like you've got to earn the right. Like, source does not need to earn the right to be itself, right? You are source. You have a divine right to be source because you are source. You don't need to earn the right. You don't need to prove yourself. So if you don't experience that as a knowing, and I'll, like, some people go, yeah, I know that, I just don't feel it. Like, if you don't feel it, then you don't know it. It's not as a knowing. It's not as this certainty that this is who you are. Okay. So this needs to be absolutely you are source, and a knowing. And there needs to be no negative patterning that, like, you need to prove anything. And also, if you have any guilt or shame or limiting belief or negative emotions like fear, because a lot of people, like, when you experience the awakening of your guide within you, it can be pretty awesome. and pretty awe-inspiring, and it can be a pretty amazing experience. It can be pretty intense. And for a lot of people, they get quite afraid of that, the strength and depth of that sensation. And that will bring up any stuff that's there, that they've been unconscious of. And then what happens is it comes into awareness. You go, oh no, I don't like that. So you stop having that experience. You stop watching ITV and you go back to BBC because you don't want to watch all those nasty things that are like, they're there, they're still there. You've just changed the channel. Right? So number 2 is you need to clear up any limiting beliefs and negative emotions. So number 1, lose the idea that you're disconnected. Get that you are unity. You are one. We're all unity. We're all one. Then clear any limiting beliefs, negative emotions. We use higher self-therapy. Really works. Next, the idea of energy. Now, a lot of people use this word, vibration, frequency. We work a lot here in Psycademy with the idea of vibration and frequency. And I'm actually doing some research right now because a lot of people I look at the words and I listen to the words and I look at the kind of the current narrative and the theme that's sort of prevalent. So we have this idea, this notion of, I need to raise my vibration. That's been around for a while now. But when you look at it from a scientific perspective, like, what the bloody hell does that mean? So I have a PhD in aeroacoustics. That's noise, which is a form of vibration. So it's just sound waves. Now, if you look at vibration, like the waves, like vibration is a waveform. And there are various things that you can do to change that experience of vibration. Like in engineering, we never say, oh, we need to raise the vibration or we need to lower the vibration. You would be very specific about what you meant. Do you mean you need to raise the frequency? Do you mean you need to raise the amplitude? Okay, so those are 2 very different things. Is it frequency or is it amplitude? And I think it's actually a bit of both. And I think there's a combination, and I think there's an ideal that works, that enables you to communicate and work with your guide. And that's what we do in Psycademy, is we give you energy practices, energy techniques that literally alter your energetic signature so that you are at a resonance frequency with source or your guide or the level of guide that you want to work with. So number 3 is energy. So there are lots of things you can do to raise and change your energy. So you just need to increase the amount of energy. So one of the things that we have in vibration is the amount of energy that unit will have. And that's due to that's actually down to the mass of it. So we won't go into the science of that right now. So lots of energy practices. One is breathing techniques like Ujjayi breathing or Ha breathing, which is the Hawaiian breathing technique. Things like Tantra, using sexual energy to transmute sexual energy. Things like yoga, tai chi, qigong. These are all energy practices. We have lots of that we use that are based on Western mystery techniques, things that involve activating energies of the tarot. It's a whole nother topic of conversation. But we give you processes and we work with you to raise your energy. So you are source, number 1. Clear up what's holding you back and raise your energy. That's 3. Next is your commitment to your personal growth. So source or your guide works through you, experiences through you. Now, source knows everything, but can experience nothing unless it's within the physical form. So source incarnates as a physical being, as you, so that it can experience itself. It knows everything, but it can't experience except in the physical. So one of the things it wants to do is experience more. Now, the current narrative at the moment is like, make life easy. Let's experience harmony and bliss and like damp ourselves down into smallness where everything is just nice and fluffy and we don't do anything scary or anything like big or expansive because we just want to experience this tiny little small place where it all feels nice and safe. And your guide will just go, oh, I'm not getting anything from that. It's like, I don't want to sit in a fluffy pillow all day. I want to go out and live life. I want to go out and be big and expansive and live life. So they want to experience life. So when you commit to experiencing more, and I'm not talking about doing crazy, scary stuff. I'm just talking about, like, some of it might be scary because there's just because it's something you've never done before. But I'm talking about doing things that increase your range of experience. Do things you've never done before, experience more things. Don't shrink, expand, making that commitment. I'm going to do another whole Facebook Live on reasons your guide leaves you. And one of them is that you're not expanding, you're shrinking, and your guide wants to expand through you and with you. If you want to work with higher level guides, keep working with your guide that you have and keep expanding yourself so that your guide, like more guide can be awakened within you, is perhaps the best way of thinking about that. It's like a balloon blowing up. You're going to have more and more of guide within you. So that was the next one. I've lost count now. I know someone will tell me what it is. So the final one is, and I'm going to use the word initiation. And the way, and this, whenever I say this, some people get really, really grumpy about it, and they go, no, it doesn't work like that. That's elitist, you know, or whatever. And so here's how I'm going to start with asking this question, and you can just answer for yourself or post in the comments box. If you're going to see a Reiki master, Reiki practitioner, right? If you're going to go and get some Reiki, would you go to Reiki person A who says, it's all right, I've read lots of books and I've thought about Reiki for a long time, and I've sat here and I've waited for the Reiki symbols to be activated within me, so I think I know what I'm doing? Or would you go to a Reiki person who said, Reiki practitioner who said, I have trained with the best of the best, the highest level Reiki master. They've trained me personally. I've got all the skills, so I know how to apply it, and I've gone through the attunements so the symbols are active within me so that I can conduct Reiki. Which would you go with, right? Would you go with number one? They've read a book and they've done a lot of waiting and they've looked at the symbols a lot, so they're pretty good. They think they know what they're doing. Or would you go to the person who's done the training and who's had the attunement? I'm going to go with that. I'm guessing you would go with the person who's had the attunement. Reiki, you are attuned to the symbol. What that is, it's an initiation. That energy is activated within you. Now, what we do in Psycademy, we're one of the very few places that do this. You can do this in other places, but it's like about 10 times as expensive as us. As what we do is we actually initiate you or attune you to your personal, highly evolved guide. This is a level of guide that's pretty much just below the level of the archangels. It's installed in your neurology, so it's actually awakened within your neurology. And you can self-initiate, but it often takes a long time. It's very hit and miss. It's a bit like the person with the Reiki attunement, looking at the symbols, hoping they activate. So you can self-initiate, or you can come and work with us, and we would initiate you into your guide so that you have this experience of your guide being within you. Now, whenever anyone goes through this kind of initiation, and I can see Josie Yorga, I know I need to message you, and I will. We'll speak. And Angie, you are on Spirit Prac, so you are going to be experiencing this initiation. You're going to be going through this process. So this will be awakened within you. So when people go through this initiation, they typically experience things like they see the world differently. They feel more connected. They have this innate sense of amazing self-confidence. Oh, I'm liking the likey buttons. You can do lots of those. Do lots of hearty things. And you know what? If you think this is an important message, go and share it with your friends and say, you know what? I know you've been wanting to talk to your guides, and connect with them. Go and share this with them. I'd love for this message to get out more and more. It's good karma, right? So when you have this initiation, you feel it within you. And I will say this, one of the things a lot of people go is like, I want to see my guide like they're in front of me, like they're a real person right in front of me, or a real being right in front of me. Now, here's why that doesn't work. Because what's presupposed is if you see your guide in front of you, that you are separate from your guide. And what you do is you don't see your guide, or rather you do see your guide every day when you look in the mirror. Because you become your guide. You are the guide. And all you need to do is learn how to flick the channels, which we teach you how to do. So you kind of flick the switch so that there you are, being and embodying the essence of guide, of source, versus just being your normal self. And you know what? It's really important to just choose to be both at sometimes. I definitely wouldn't want to be my guide when I am making a cup of coffee in the morning and driving my daughter to the bus stop. Time to be normal sometimes and time to be guide other times. So if you have any questions, pop them in the old chitty chat box. If you're interested in learning how to be or being initiated into your high level guide, I will post a link in the comments box. Or just post a link and maybe we can do that. Maybe we can do a thing. I'll talk to Joe about that. Joe, can we do a thing so we can send them a link via Messenger if we can? Just assume for now we can. So post a little question or click on the link that I'll pop in a minute, about our spiritual practitioner training, certification training. That's where you can get initiated into your high-level guide. You can learn to learn a whole bunch of energy practices, so you raise your energy. You learn, not only do you learn how to do higher self-therapy, you get taken through higher self-therapy, or not only do you get taken through higher self-therapy to find and remove all those blocks, limiting beliefs. What you can also do is you can you learn to do that, take others through higher self-therapy. Now, I think this is really, really important because the whole species is demanding and calling for and crying out for this next level of energy workers. And, you know, I was talking on our call earlier. So if I were to ask you what kind of telephone you had, you would probably say some kind of smartphone, something like this. Like, I got a big old fancy one. It's way too big, right? There we are, 1635. I can turn it on for you. So you would probably say a smartphone. Now, you know, back in the, I don't know, 80s, 90s, early noughties, late 90s, I think it was, we had the Nokia. Do you remember the little Nokia thingy that, and you even have the same noise on the Nokia, right? And everyone had one of those Nokias, and you could change the case. Like, how amazing was that? That was the biggest thing it did. You could play Snake, and the battery lasted about a week, right? But it didn't do anything else. There was no Facebook. I mean, I don't think it even was Facebook back then. It was just starting. So the question is, do you have a Nokia right now? Or do you have a smartphone? Now, I'm guessing you're going to say, I've got a smartphone. And then if I were to say, why don't you have a Nokia? And you would say, well, because I can do more with this, right? There's more stuff. Like this was more powerful. I can just do more, has more technology. Well, that's where we are with the spiritual technology now. And Psycademy, like, one of the things I do is, like, I'm not a spiritual messenger. I'm not here to give you messages. I am the bringer of spiritual technology. That's why I've gone through all the whole engineering stuff and PhD in engineering, because I'm the spiritual technologist. And my role is to teach as many people who are willing, who are wanting to learn how to do this technology, and it is easy when you know how, to learn how to do this so that you can help more people. So if that's you, click on and I'll pop it in a minute, the spiritual practitioner training. Let us know if you're interested in it, and we'll get you the link. And if you have any questions about it, here's the thing to do. Go through to the link. It's spiritual. Oh, what is it? I've got it here. I got it here, and I'll pop it in. spiritualpractitionertraining.com. How's that? I managed to remember. spiritualpractitionertraining.com. Go there and have a read and see if you feel called, if you feel drawn, if it speaks to you, if it resonates with you. If it doesn't, that's fine. Go and do whatever you want to do. I'm cool. But if it does, here's the thing to do. There'll be a little button that says apply now. Click on the apply button. That'll take you to another page where there's a form to fill in. Fill in that form, my darlings. And then when you click to enter that form, then you'll be taken to a page where you can book a session with us, a conversation. Now, the worst case scenario is you do nothing and you miss out on a fabulous opportunity and not following through with what you really want to, what you know you really want to do. The best case is this is absolutely right for you and you're lucky enough to be offered one of the few places left, or we decide between the two of us, you know, it's not for you, and we just have a lovely chat, and that'll be great. Love to chat to people. So that's like, so, and I'm really clear about this. This is not for everyone, and we will not offer you a place if we don't feel it is in absolutely everyone's highest, in like your best interest. And here's what I also want you to do. Any little voices that are telling you, not sure I'm good enough, who am I? Do it anyway. Just ignore that voice right now. Just silence that voice. Don't let that get in the way of you doing what you know is in your highest good that you're called to do. Follow the calling. Shut the negative voices up for now. Just follow the calling. Go through to that page, have a read, and we'll speak. We'll speak or not. Either way, and if you have any questions, either save them for our conversation or pop them. Really great. Pop them in the chatty box here. The little chatty, I know what we call them, the chatty box thing. It's not a chatty box, is it? I don't know what it's called. Post it. The comments box. That's it. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a very serious person, I'll have you know, on Tuesdays. Today's not Tuesday, so I don't need to be serious. So go and click on the link, fill in the form, we'll have a chat. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments box. So till next time, lots and lots of love to you. Love you lots, and bye for now. Bye, everyone.